You know what I just realized about Borderlands 3? Besides, I want to die every time I play Eden 6. Nothing wrong with the game. The game is fun. I enjoy it to the fullest extent that I can. But Eden 6 as a whole story, like a story mission, is just a slog. Besides Hammerlock and killing the first Anointed, like the rest of the way is boring. And that's just Eden 6. Everything else after that, smooth sailing. I'm tired during Eden 6. I only play like a mission per day at this point. But the one thing I realized that never got turned into the important plot point was Troy. After being lured to the Jacob's Manor by Aurelia, he captured us. And he was talking, he was saying no more table scraps. You know, because he was tired of being in Tyrene's shadow. He was tired of just being a second banana to Tyrene because she's so narcissistically involved in her own world that everyone just revolves around her. And while I thought that could have been a good Chekhov's gun or some level of a plot direction, would have had Troy be beefing with Tyrene in some capacity, a sibling rivalry between the two, like a split the COV or something, or hell would have brought Troy to the good side in some form. He was Saitosh's sister, or him taking over, him being the final villain at the very least. But that's the weird part. He doesn't. Because the game still continues on with him still being in her shadow at her side, no matter, without any questions, without any sense of I'm taking over this. And it's just like, why can that not be a point in Borderlands 3 where Tyrene and Troy fight? You know, instead of them trying to kill the Vault Hunters and the Crimson Raiders, why don't they just fight between each other? I thought Troy would have been better as a final villain. Troy the Destroyer, the Parasite, the guy who isn't a siren at the very least. You know, it's just like, how did he get powers? They say he's a parasite, but I don't think they really explain how did he attained it. Besides probably being on Necrothafale for his whole childhood, like the Iridians blessed him with it, or just being in like a Iridian place for that long just grant you the ability to leech anything as well, gather their powers. But getting to that point, I still question about Troy. It's just, I feel like Troy had a lot of potential in his character. He has so much he could have done for the story in terms of just dying later anyway. I could have believed him to be a final villain in some capacity. A true villain to it. Tyrene, yeah, she may have her memes. People want to probably like sniff on Tyrene's toes or lick her armpits or whatever the fuck people like their fetishes today. But I never saw Tyrene as the true villain. The fact that she made the Destroyer, this galaxy-destroying entity, a weaker mortal, and we kill it, I still don't believe at all because I still think that's like one piece of the Destroyer. But getting back on track, I could have believed that Troy could have been the true villain, not taking control of the Destroyer, or if he does, he could. But I wanted that. I wanted him to do it, or at the very least, he could have leeched Tyrene and then go for the Destroyer. I could have wanted that. You know, that'd be kind of interesting to see. Have him be the true final villain or something. Or if not, go back to my usual fanficky way and just make him on the good guy side. You know, it's like they don't trust him obviously, but he's not exactly out to murder them. He was just there with his sister, whose sister slowly grew but surely just keep on his saying, why'd I keep you alive? My biggest regret is keeping you breathing, Troy. Like, she clearly does not give a fuck about her brother in any capacity. That's not serving her own agenda. Which, you know, begs the question, why did Borderlands 3 not do him any service? Hell, they killed Aurelia, who could have been one of the main staples of the Crimson Raiders, if she wasn't down bad for Troy. It's like Aurelia had a potential. She was the richest one there. She had a bitchy attitude that would have been cool and some contrast on Sanctuary. The fact that she owns a planet, which is even more interesting, which we'll never get to see, which I honestly want to. Aurelia's planet, which could have been a new base or a new front for the Crimson Raiders. You know, their own home world. I would have seen Aurelia be on the good guy side along with Troy. Or how Troy could have just been an anti-hero where he was just like, yeah, I'm not fucking with Tyrene, I'm not fucking with you guys, but I'm not on Tyrene's side either. I'm in between with this. I wanted that. I kind of feel like that Borderlands 3, in terms of writing and some of its characters, like, you know, like Tiny Tina, Mordecai, and Brick being B team, and they got ultimately shafted. Vaughn had more screen time than Reese, because Reese was shafted after Promethea at that point. Because why the fuck would he Reese anymore? Let alone Zero. He was there after, he was there for Maya's, you know, funeral, and that was it. You know, it's just, ooh, Hammerlock and Rainwright were shot. Like, it's like everyone in Borderlands 3 only had like one place to be at, and that was it. They didn't exist anywhere else. They weren't really on Sanctuary, with the exception of like Zero and Hammerlock. But other than that, I feel like the writing in Borderlands 3 has always been so, I'm not saying it was bad. I always kind of felt like it was lackluster, like it was still missing something in potential. Like there was still so much things they could have done. Hell, looking at some of the cut content, the scrap concepts, like Maya's funeral being a lot more, you know, more open, more heavy, having all the Vault Hunters be there, having, I guess, Ava saying something, being more emotional with this, everyone being there. I was like, I want to see that, because Ava in Borderlands 3, like, was just, I guess, just a kid in a way, had kid energy, just asshole, thinking that she knows too much when she doesn't understand or even grasp the situation they're in. They're fighting a whole war. I mean, it kind of sucks her character out a little bit. So I'm just like, what happened with Borderlands 3 that made them cut all this stuff out? Did they not miss their deadline or something? Or they just could not implement it? I know Borderlands 3 was a lot more story heavy than the usual predecessors, when you just got like an echo log, or it's just someone talking in your echo, and you go there, shoot stuff, plan a few things, have fun. I know Borderlands 3 and Command and Lilith DLC being its prequel, prologue to it, it became a lot more story driven. But I guess that's kind of like the drawback of it. Borderlands 3 wanted to still keep the gunplay and all the fun things about it, but the story had to pay its price a little bit. But even though Borderlands 3 still had a lot to do, I feel like Borderlands 3, if I'm being open about this, still had so much they could have done. I mean, I feel like that, like, the raid bosses, like the Hemovorus, was pretty cool. I like the alternative, like, body parts. I wish they could have had more, because they only have, like, the one set for each Vault Hunter, just, like, the one outfit. I wanted to see more different bodies. I wanted to see, I don't know, Zane wearing, I don't know, Axon's outfit, or maybe freaking Flag wearing Zero's outfit or something, you know, something cool like that. Like Moe's, I don't know, wearing Wilhelm's, and Amara wearing Lilith's. I wanted more of that. And even playing this game, it was probably been at least a couple of years since this game has been done. It's kind of sad to see that, you know. I wanted more out of Borderlands 3. I feel like there was still too much left in the open compared to Borderlands 2, which had like 5 or so DLCs plus the almost semi-recent Command and Lilith DLC. Slap that on with the Headhunters, the 2 extra Vault Hunters, all the skins and crap you could get from the games alone. Then you got pre-sequel, only had like 1 DLC, 1 Holodome, 1 pre-order Holodome, and 2 characters. Borderlands 1 having like 4 to 5 DLCs, you know, and then Borderlands 3 having your usual 4 to 5 plus a designer's cut and director's cut. I don't know. I feel like Borderlands 3 was supposed to be like this magnum opus that's still yet to been fulfilled yet. I wish they didn't work on Tiny Tina Wonderland. I wish that never came out as soon as it did. If I'm being really honest in terms of video games, because I could believe that if that game got pushed back or just simply put on the back burner for now, I wanted more work to go into Borderlands 3, like more characters, I don't know, more worlds to explore, more anything, you know. I would have been happy to see that. I know this video is taking a complete 180 turn from everything else, especially with Troy being the main centerpiece of it, but I had to open my passionate heart about this game. You know, I loved it. I accidentally bought the German copy and played it until I realized, damn, I can't play this game anymore because it's the German copy. I live in the US, so I had to buy an official US copy of it. That's what I get for ordering off Amazon. And I loved it, every second of it. You know, it's up there. Between Borderlands 2 and 3, I'm honestly going to be on 3's side for the most part. You know, crawling back for 2 for nostalgia, but 3 is where it hit me at. No, and then there's pre-sequel, which I honestly love, because pre-sequel is just, it's on a tears on its own, you know? But I won't keep you guys here for long. I just wanted to speak my mind about that. And, you know, just say hi to you all, and I know, like, guys, what's going on? Hope you guys doing okay. Hope you guys loving my videos and stuff. You know, like, comment, tell me your thoughts about Borderlands 3 if you have played it, if you know the game. I want to hear your thoughts, and I want to, you know, echo some level of sentiment between it, or even give you some compelling arguments in some way. Anyway, that's going to be it for now. You know, next video coming up sooner or later. Who knows? Maybe you might like it. Until then, I bid you adieu.